Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to a weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 39th Commitments of Traders Report of 2025. And as we always do, we're going to start off by analyzing the largest changes in commercials net positions. If you're new to COT analysis, let me just share with you that we are actually using the COT data from CFTC. It breaks down open interest into three main trader categories. We've got commercials, who are in the market for mainly hedging purposes. Then we have large speculators and small speculators. The difference between them is the reporting limit. If you are trading in larger quantities, then you do fall into the category of a large speculator by CFTC. So small speculators are really just they're actually called non-reportables. We can call them retail traders. They are represented with a blue line on a separate scale chart. We've got commercials in red and large speculators in green. We are, of course, analyzing the classic COT report type because it has the longest history of COT data. It's a bit more simple to understand than the other disaggregated types. And then there's two data types. We've got futures only, and then the one that collects options data as well. So this is the futures and options data combined. So let's get started. We have soybeans complex on top of our list. So complex, it's simply a term we use here at COTBase where we basically what we did, we collected the sector markets. So in this case, we're talking about soybean meal, soybean oil, and we added up all those data, the individual contract COT data, into compiling one complete sector data. So it gives you a bit more understanding of all participants throughout all the different markets within that category. We're going to jump over that, start with soybean oil, where we have a 23% change in commercials net position. You can see that on the chart over here, greater than average. It is a bullish COT change signal, suggesting strengthening in the next few days. Moving to a 5 years chart, you can see what I do here, and just a suggestion. You take this horizontal line, you put it on the most recent net position of the particular trader group you're analyzing. Right now we're looking at commercials, and you can see where that stands on a 5 years time horizon, right? So you can see the most bearish extreme back over here in 2020-21. We have the most bullish COT extremes over here. It's more or less in between those. So not really an extreme positioning of traders right now. So it's really the COT change signal from the report that you can actually act upon. Now, that being said, there is a unique tool that we developed after years and years of research. This is called the iCOT Intraday Indicator, and it basically brings COT analysis into the shorter time frame. So this, as you can see, is a 1 hour candlestick chart on soybean oil. And what it does is it basically measures extreme similarly to a classic COT analysis. However, of course, the data is not directly from CFTC, but it's something unique that we put together and uses price data volume to bring these wonderful, we call these iCOT scores lines. Okay, they're very similar to commercials and large speculators COT index chart because it really moves between plus 100 and minus 100 readings. So you can see that when we get this this buy signal, it's preceded by a significant extreme in the market, and these extremes that have both commercials and large speculators at an extreme, those are represented with this vertical line. And then the after signal, what it does, this is actually an upgraded version of the indicator. It filters out signals and helps you identify the best time to actually enter the market. So this is just an example. This is an indicator you can actually use on all sorts of markets, not necessarily just futures markets, but also stocks. You can use it on cryptocurrencies. You can use it on Forex, a lot of different markets. If you want to read more about it, we have our indicators page over here. We've got the Pro, focused on classic COT analysis, and then we have the iCOT indicator, the basic and the upgraded version with AfterSignal. If you have any questions, by the way, just please feel free to comment underneath the video or send us an email to info@cotbase.com. And on that note, I should also ask you, if you enjoy this video, to please hit the like button. And if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Moving on to our next market. Not surprisingly, another soybean market, soybeans itself, with a 18% change in commercials net positions, being a bit larger than average, but nothing like surprisingly huge or anything like that. Again, this is a bullish change signal. Moving to a 5-year chart, you can see very similarly to a soybean oil, there's not really an extreme to be talking about. The last major extreme was actually this bullish one over here, which was successful in marking the bottom on this 5-year chart. However, you can see there wasn't really a follow through by the market. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this direction continued in the price of soybeans, while commercials start increasing their net long positions back to or possibly beyond 200,000 contracts net long, and large speculators in the opposite direction towards 200,000 contracts net short. The next market is going to be in energy, natural gas, 15% change over here in commercials net positions. You can see this is a bullish change signal. The size is greater than average. However, we have seen natural gas prices rising. And honestly, I do believe when you take a COT change signal, the best is to act upon it when it's actually pointing in the opposite direction as the preceding price action. 5-year chart will give us a chance to examine stress levels in this market, and it is unquestionably leaning towards the bullish side. So we're moving towards bullish COT extremes. You can see the most bullish extreme back over here, basically a year ago, which was a successful signal pushing natural gas higher. However, reaching a relative bearish extreme, not an all-time or anything close to that, but within, let's say, a 3 years time period, a more bearish reading, you can see natural gas coming back down. Now we are seeing the extreme once again widening towards the bullish side of the market. Moving on to large speculators COT extreme analysis. Metals complex is on top of our list, so I'm going to actually analyze the metals complex. And so once again, just to clarify, complex means we take all the markets within that category. And in the case of metals, of course, it's gold, it's silver, it's copper, it's platinum, and then palladium. And all the COT data for these individual companies are gathered, okay? And then we basically calculate the exact dollar amount of how net long or short the given trader group is. And then we weigh in these different market according to their open interest dollar value. So I know it sounds a bit complicated. It's not very complicated, but what you see here is basically the entire metals COT data, let's say, okay? And it says it's at an all-time COT extreme. So we can actually open the entire history of COT data. And you can see this dates back. This is, of course, futures and options. If you want to go further back, I'd suggest looking at the futures only. But this one goes back until 1995. Now, with these type of markets, what you can do is there's the price chart. So you can actually switch between the individual markets and see the price chart for them. Right now, we have gold. And this all-time bearish extreme is significant. Now you can see, we can go back in time and see what happened when we had a all-time extreme in gold, or in this particular complex data, and you can see how well those all-time extremes were successful in identifying a top in gold. Now, this is basically a warning. So stress levels throughout metals have built up to a level that we've never seen in the history of COT data, okay? So it's significant, right? If you have been long. And I mean, there was an amazing signal in gold and in silver actually back over here in 2018. This was an all-time bullish extreme, okay? This over here, this was a great signal. I personally took that signal. Then you are probably still in this trade. And if you are, then maybe this bearish extreme is suggesting you might want to start taking profits off the table. I'm not saying go short, but like if you have been building a long position, maybe it's time to start considering defensive actions. Moving on to lean hogs, we have an all-time COT extreme over here. So yeah, we're still on the max chart here. It's quite visible. This is a bearish extreme suggesting weakness coming in lean hogs. You can go back in time and see how this market reacted to all-time bearish extreme. Last but not least, we have the Mexican peso with a 66 report extreme. Well, we can stay at the max chart. You can always do that and measure it compared to all-time history. So it's definitely clear that in the Mexican peso, this is not an all-time extreme. You can see the most bearish extreme just preceding this drop in prices in the Mexican peso. That, of course, that coincided with the COVID panic over there. But there's another example right over here. So once again, we are witnessing a bearish extreme developing in the Mexican peso. Of course, this is measured in US dollars. So this is sort of the Mexican peso US dollar currency pair. By the way, you do have the option of switching between these. So what you can do is switch to a Mexican peso US dollar chart. And then you still have the COT data, or you can actually take the inverse, which is again something unique here at COTBase, and then of course it reverts the COT data as well. So a lot of things you can do here at COTBase.com. If you want to go deeper into analyzing this data, then please feel free to visit us and give us a try. If you have any questions, once again, we're here to help you and assist you. Let us know, send us an email, comment underneath these videos, and we're going to be there to help you. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you guys will have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye.